like to call this meeting to order. Good evening. This is Independent School District 832. It is a regular meeting for the Mahtomedi School District. It is Monday, April 28th, 2025, and it's 7:00 p.m. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call of attendance, please.
Done.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Moved by Director Regan,
Second.
seconded by Director Doman. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries. Approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Director Donna,
Second.
seconded by Director Regan. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion carries. All right, presentations and recognition. We will have the community education staff recognition. Welcome.
Good evening. I am Sammy Wallace from Mahtomedi Community Education. Most of you know Alice from her work as the Director of Communications for the Mahtomedi Public School District. I am also lucky to know her with another of her passions as Zephyr Cooking Club instructor. Alice has been the Zephyr Cooking Club instructor with Mahtomedi Community Education for 4 years now. She has offered over 50 programs for 153 middle school students. Alice is also a member of our Community Education Advisory Council. She goes above and beyond for her community, and I'm honored to be recognizing her contributions today. Alice fosters relationship building, teamwork, and communication with her Zephyr Cooking Club and high school mentorship program. During the 24-25 school year, 26 Mahtomedi High School students participated in mentoring her cooking club students. Alice honors student interest, learner agency by adapting instruction to student suggestions, feedback, and current passions. She creates an inclusive environment open to all students who want to join. She teaches real-life academic concepts such as measuring, reading aloud, food safety, and cooking skills. In her efforts to offer diverse opportunities, Alice has led cooking club field trips to the Indigenous Food Lab, Feed My Starving Children, and the Mahtomedi Area Food Shelf, and more. These are just some of the hundreds of positive comments from students and families about Alice. I'd like to highlight the one in the top right from a current 24-25 parent of a cooking club student this year. It says, "Thank you, Alice, for making this club such a fabulous experience. These are skills for life, and you've created a safe and fun environment to learn and grow in." This is just one example of the positive impact Alice has had through Cooking Club. On behalf of Mahtomedi Community Education and the Mahtomedi Public School District, I'd like to thank you for your commitment, dedication, and impact. Thank you.
There we are. Hi, I'm Stephanie Groff, Athletics and Facilities Coordinator for Community Education, and it's a pleasure to introduce you to Dustin Schulte, a dedicated and passionate coach who loves to promote the sport of wrestling, which he has participated in since the age of 5. Dustin has been an integral part of developing our middle school wrestling program, which completed their 4th season this year. He also leads our youth wrestling program. Dustin continues to increase his role in community education, currently by teaching Little Ninjas program for 18-month-old to 5-year-olds. And this class focused on basic skills like jumping, rolling, and balancing through fun activities. The program he has developed is extremely popular and enrollment is always full. Why he does what he does. Dustin just loves seeing our students succeed, and he focuses on positivity, giving students specific feedback to help them grow. And I'd just like to highlight the number of students that he has helped grow over the years. The middle school wrestling team has had 52 students over the last 4 years. The youth program has had 189 as far as our computer went back since fall of 21. And with the new little Ninjas program, just since last fall, 100 students. Our families have amazing things to say about Dustin and his programs. There's a few on the screen if you want to check those out. We just want to say thank you for all of your hard work, dedication, and enthusiasm that you show our athletes regularly. Our programs thrive only because of coaches like you. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jamie O'Hara, and I'm the MAC and Youth Enrichment Coordinator for Mahtomedi Community Education. I'm honored to recognize Marcia Sankler for her 28 years of service in the Mahtomedi District, supporting our students, staff, and families. She has held many roles within our district and currently starts her day at morning MAC before heading to the office as the OHA school nurse. Marcia is well respected by students, staff, and families. Her positive attitude, outstanding dedication, and commitment to caring for the young minds has created a wonderful environment for our Zephyr community. The MAC students love having Marcia at MAC, especially in the gym. A few of her best qualities include her kindness, patience, and sense of humor. Thank you, Marcia, for all you've done and continue to do for 832.
Does anyone
Well,
want to?
yeah, I think before we take a photo, I think we would like to just acknowledge each of you, and if all of you could come back up because we're going to get your photo. I obviously, I think what each person has said about you really sums it up, but we really appreciate the commitment and what you've given to our district. It's amazing to see that how this program has really thrived, and just want to say thank you so much. Does anyone else want to? Yes, Director Egan.
I just wanted to say yes and everything that's been said, and having a couple kids that have already graduated from Mahtomedi schools and one soon to graduate and one in high school, you have impacted all of them, every one of you, to some capacity. And so from them being younger and needing to go to the health office to all sorts of time at MAC because I'm a working mom. And so thank you for that. To Alice introducing my son to cooking club, who he now said that that's what he wants to go into culinary post high school. So so thank you, even though I know that he probably was a pain at times to have a cooking club. So thank you. And Dustin, you even tried with one of my sons to get him involved, I believe, in middle school wrestling. I could not get them to wrestle. I thought they wrestle at home all the time. They should be really good at it. But thank you so much, all of you, and all the different ways that you've impacted students across the district.
All right, and I think.
Hold on a second. I know you're over there. We have a bigger space now.
I wish I could grow, but I can't. So inadequate in these pictures.
You're
Okay, we will continue on now with our student rep report. Max? No, I think we can go ahead.
All right, well, we'll make it a good one since it's the second to last report here.
I know.
On student council right now, what we're doing, well, I guess we just had our parents' night out during the MAIF Gala, which was as fun as usual. And right now we're planning for prom, where the theme will be the golden age of Hollywood. And it'll be on the boat again this year in Stillwater. And also something student council is doing right now is every other week, we're sending a couple high schoolers over to OH Anderson. No, we're sending them to Wildwood to go play with the kids at recess. I even got sent over there. It was super fun. Hung out for 3 recesses, played with the kindergartners. I did make the mistake of sitting on the ground. I got dogpiled by about 30 of them. That wasn't too great, but it was fun altogether. We also had the celebration of excellence for the top 10% of the class, where I got to see some of you at. So thank you all for coming if you were there. At Wildwood right now, the kindergartners just successfully hatched 8 Easter egger chicks, where the eggs were actually from chicks that they hatched last year, kind of keeping the cycle. At OHA, the MAIF Pennies for Playgrounds fundraiser raised over $5,000 between them and Wildwood. Now, at the middle school, Daniel Borovsky was named the MHS 2025 Rotary Academic Achiever for his high-level classes and involvement in multiple clubs, which is really impressive. And actually at the middle school, the 8th graders just got back yesterday from their Washington, D.C. trip where they left on Wednesday. So that's a fun thing to see them go to every year. And they're actually planning a trip next year to New York for 2026. And keeping kind of on the same topic, other than my new haircut, which some of you saw 2 weeks ago, I committed to college at New York University.
Hey, I was going to ask.
I'm a most likely major in business and technology at the engineering school, which is a fun major, and then probably minor in finance at Stern.
Excellent. Congratulations.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Ah,
Wow.
we only
That's
have
exciting.
one more meeting with Max. Next meeting's our last meeting.
And Max, just to let you know, in New York, it's called finance.
Okay,
Pronounced correctly. It's
Thank you.
finance.
I'll keep that in mind.
Great.
All right. Thank you. All right. Now for our superintendent's report.
That up. Okay, as always, just things around the district and some noteworthy news and upcoming events. So I have a few slides here about some career-oriented events that we have had for students. First, the middle school career day. I know a number of you have had a chance to stop by at one of these either last year or this year. It was another successful career day with alumni, family, and community members coming to talk about their careers with middle school students. And it's always successful. Students are always engaged, and the counselors also do a very good job setting the speakers up for success to know how to talk to middle school students. So that it's a very well done event. A number of you also attended the Passages Reverse Job Fair that happens every year, where our Passages students have an opportunity to talk about their their career interests and their strengths and their needs in a career area, just their experiences. And so it's always great to hear the students. And I know a couple of us talked about just the progress from one year to the next of how students can talk to adults in this program. So it's a very impressive event. We also had our first career internship and volunteer fair, and a number of the community ed coordinators who just walked out were responsible for getting this off the ground. So it was great. Students got a chance to get some feedback on their resumes. They got to just interview various people about their careers. And it looks like 25 volunteers that reviewed the resumes. We had 400 students just attend the event, and there was just a lot of networking. I told the story a couple of times that I had some students walk up to me and say, is there anyone here who has a law background? And I said, well, it just so happens our board chair is coming in a little bit if you just hang around. So they just they hung around and watched until she walked in the door, and then they made a beeline to interview you about your career choice.
Very fun.
Yeah, so it was a great event. So I'm excited about this play, and our director of this community theater musical. This is the first time that we've done this, and Dennis Jocelyn who's in the back there, is going to be our director, and it's the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. Our high school students did this, I think, the first year I was here, and it's just such a fun. Play and a production, and I hope that our community will join. So when we had our meetings on Thursday nights, I did not get to go to this event very often. I missed it frequently, and it's the White Bear Center for the Arts Vision and Verse exhibit, and they've combined their awards ceremony for their writing competition with the visual arts competition, and we had quite a few award winners. And so you can see those award winners up there, including Best of Show for both the visual arts and the writing came from Mahtomedi. So congratulations to these students. And even if they weren't listed here as an award winner, it's still just an amazing event, and the show is still up. You can go see the artwork, you can read the writing. You can listen to the writing too. They have one exhibit where you sit in a chair and you get to hear the students reading their writing. So I would encourage you to stop over to the White Bear Center of the Arts to see our students' work. We also had a number of student athletes who had a recognition ceremony regarding their commitments to their colleges for next year. And so you can see those students there. Congratulations to all of those students. And we have talked quite a few times about our DECA program, our new DECA program, and the experiences our students are having. And so it may be no surprise to you that our advisor, Annie Dahl, just won the Outstanding DECA Advisor Award. So congratulations to Annie Dahl. Kylie Malvey, was named our Athena Award winner for the class of 2025, and she was able to be recognized at an award ceremony and dinner for the Athena Award. So congratulations to Kylie. We have a number of upcoming events. I will point out a couple to you. Food Truck Friday, because we always love to talk about Food Truck Friday. But also we have 2 more nights for the Bright Star the musical, and I would really encourage you to make it out. I heard great things about it. It opened this weekend, and we have 2 more shows coming up at the end of the week. And so that's what I have. Oh,
Reading that right? It's just, the play is just for high school? High schoolers?
yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I forgot one other thing I wanted to highlight is we did have a boardwalk. Our Wildwood Boardwalk had been rescheduled, and so we just had it recently. And Director Donna and Director Whitson were able to attend and visit Wildwood and look at kind of literacy in action across the grades. So I don't know if you have some comments from that boardwalk.
Yeah, Madam Chair, it was phenomenal. The takeaway for me was, I mean, we visited a kindergarten, a first grade, and a second grade classroom, and observed the lesson taking place. And essentially, we're creating a foundation for critical thinking starting at kindergarten. And it was incredible to watch how these kids, what struck me was just the enormous engagement taking place throughout the lesson, from talking to their classmates or elbow partners, what they were called, to asking questions. It was tremendous. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I'd like to echo what Paul said as well. To see the students and hear from the principal talk about as these students have come from class to class, as they move up, they sort of begin to sort of integrate that process into their thinking and into the questions. And I forget the phrase. It was something in wonder. What was
Notice and wonder.
Notice and wonder, right?
Yeah.
And they say we rolled this out. It was even they started to notice and wonder of things that just everywhere around them. It wasn't just in their class lectures. And so as the teachers and the students have been progressing in development of the content and the process, I think it's going to be wonderful to see the results of that sort of percolating up through the rest of the grades.
Great.
Great. All right, good report. Thank you. Okay, board member calendar. Thank you. Does anyone have anything they'd like to call out? Yes,
I have a
Director
question.
Peterson. Oh, yes.
Oh, question, please. Passage's graduation's been in the Chautauqua before. This year is it in their little room?
Yes, I think they only have 2 students graduating
Oh,
this year, so it's
okay.
a much
Okay.
smaller.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep, and you'll see it's not in the evening this time. So, let's see, anything else? We've got our graduation. Got that marked, Max? Okay, I don't see anything else to call out. We're getting near the end of the year. We've got one more Zephyr Learning showcase on May 2nd, May 12th, which I love those. Oh, and community lunch coming up on May 7th. Anything else anybody wants to call out? Okay. All right, and now we'll have Kate Anderson come forward to talk about community education facility use fees.
Great. Good evening.
Good evening.
I am Kate Anderson, the Community Ed Director, and I am here to propose, in your board packet, there was a document to talk about the proposal for us to increase our facility fees. As you know, we have lots of fields and athletic areas, classrooms, all of those things that the community can rent. And so we are proposing to increase all class 3, 4, and 5 by $1. We are also within the facility use fee agreement. You'll see we did add a couple of different things, so I wanted to highlight those. In the last several years, we've had requests to utilize the parking lots, sometimes for shuttling to wedding venues that are by. So we have added that. We also added, this last winter, we did a little bit of a deep dive into tournament costs of like materials and amenities that we have. So like toilet paper, paper towels, and things like that. And a typical tournament fee for an association is $450 for the weekend. But those amenities are actually more than what we were charging. So We decided that we were going to do a $450 per building charge on that. I think it was last week, we did meet with the athletic council, which makes up a director from every single one of our associations. And we did share with them that we were proposing this to the school board. And unanimously, they were like, yes, this would be great. They have been really wonderful partners with us. They do provide extra assistance for us when something needs to be done. The soccer association will help with some of the sodding and some aerating. Football has done some donating. The last time I came, I think was last year, and I talked about how the baseball association had helped with about over $65,000 worth of money towards some of our renovations. So overall, I just wanted you to take a look at this, have an opportunity to ask me questions so that hopefully next time we can take a vote and see if this is something the board would agree to.
Great. Any questions? Director Donna?
Thanks for providing this, Kate. 2 questions for you. So, for instance, the varsity baseball field, who does that get rented out to?
Doesn't, but we are working on that.
And do we get requests for it?
We do.
And why haven't we have we rented it out before?
We have never rented it out under my watch. But we have talked about this coming year that we are going to talk with the association director and Adam Gamenden, who is our facility and grounds maintenance supervisor, manager, and for a tournament. So like if the association has a tournament, we would maybe have them do the championship game on there and type of thing. We have had another entity, and I can't remember exactly who it was, but that wanted to come in and use that. But at the time, we were told no. So we are looking at possibly doing that now.
Well, I think it's an asset that is underutilized, and I think it's great that we're considering that.
I appreciate you bringing that up because it is something. I know when we did our facility, what was that called, Barb, that we did our facility and we had all the people.
Task force.
Thank you, the task force. That question was brought up, that are we not using that field? There's a lot of expensive things on that field. So we just want to make sure that we're, have the appropriate setup of the field and then following up, getting it ready for the next day if it needs to be used. So.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. And then just on the parking lot, so does that cover like when someone's selling their boat and they put it in the parking lot?
No, it does not. Are you wanting to
Perhaps
use
it
it for a boat selling? No.
Or work on a commission instead.
We do have hockey teams that like to, they don't rent it, but they do have to permit the space to let us know. And basically it's permitting it so that we know should we be doing construction or plowing, things like that they have to be in a certain area. But
Thank you.
yes.
Director Peterson?
So the fun fair coming up at Wildwood.
Mhm.
So then does the PTO pay for each classroom that has an event in it? Do they pay the cafeteria? That's where you sell tickets. And then do they pay for the gym? Because that's where the games are.
The PTO is a separate entity that doesn't have charges based on that because you are a class 2. And a class 2 this is only for 3, 4, and 5s.
They're exempt. Okay.
Would you like to contribute that, Jenny, the PTO?
No, I was just
No.
trying to get examples of
No,
they're not an association.
correct. Certain groups do not, they partner with us, right? And so
Okay.
we are exempt for things. MAFE does exempt things and yeah. Good question. Any others?
No, thank you so
Okay,
much.
Thank you.
Okay, now for our quarterly financial update from our financial director, Tim Erickson.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So this is our quarterly financial update that we provide you on a quarterly basis. Of course, I guess that makes sense, right? overall, we're right on track. You'll see some variances, and I'll just cover really the variances here and not get into some of the other stuff that's pretty self-explanatory. So I'm going to start with federal revenue under the revenue categories. So you can see the actuals for 2023, 2024, and then the revised budget. And of course, that's the pandemic relief funding that drops off. So our last year of that was in 2024. So it drops down to that 778,000. And we've collected on federal revenues, which includes special education, title funding, that type of thing. We've collected about 43% at this point this year. But there's a bit of a reimbursement lag. There's timing differences with that because everything we spend, we have to put in an application and receive a reimbursement after we spend those dollars. So in this case, we did have a reimbursement request that was going out for about 133,000. So that actually, if we included that in here, that would bring us to about a 60% portion of the budget received on that. So the next one is if we look at property taxes, we're a little higher on our fiscal disparities than what we projected. And so that's good news. That helps offset our total property tax levy. And then under local fees and interest, those are mainly investment earnings that are driving that. At the end of the year, that won't show quite as high though, because at the end of the year, we're going to require to do an accounting entry and spread that interest revenue to other funds, such as debt service and that type of thing. Any questions on the revenue side of things? Okay, all right. I'll keep going on to expenditures. Of course, our big one, salaries and wages, that's tracking right where it should be. Really the same with employee benefits. That's tracking well. Of course, some of our expense there is a state-supported unemployment expense, so that drives some of that. Moving down to purchase services, that's really not higher than where it was last year. However, it pushes. The push we have there is just the timing of a invoice that we received from another district. That bill falls comes in the fall, and this time we didn't get it until the spring here, until April. We had some governmental accounting standards board changes for how we account for lease payments, and we had to reclass some things. Minnesota Department of Education usually has changes in their with what we call the UFARS code. That's the account coding that all districts are required to use. So there's some natural changes that occur every year with that. And then we've got under the supplies, so some additional our tech equipment lease payments and a large textbook purchase for this year. If you compare that to last year, actually, I'm going to jump down to the equipment and other expenses. If you compare that line to last year, what was driving that in 2024 was the long-term facility maintenance payment for the field turf. So this year, of course, we didn't have that. So those expenses, are down a little bit. And then if you look at that very bottom bar underneath there, the revenue over or under expenditures, of course, we've got a deficit budget, and that was planned. So that's $2,086,000 currently. So that's on track. We'll probably be in that range by the time we close out the year. So, any questions? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now on to action items. Can I get a motion for the approval of the donations and grants for March 2025 totaling $9,528.79?
So moved.
By Director Doman,
Second.
seconded by Director Donna. Any discussion? As always, all donations and grants are greatly appreciated. The use of these funds will be to further the mission of the school district and are used towards the wishes of the donor. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed, motion carries. All right, now the facilities project scope.
Okay, so I have a presentation for you that represents all things that we've talked about many times, but for the those who are watching from home, I thought I should go through all of this. So just as an overview, we've spent the past 2 years conducting research, meeting with stakeholders, reviewing options regarding a facilities bond and facilities projects. And so today we're asking you to take action on the scope of these facilities projects that we've been discussing. So just some background, just as a reminder, back in 2021, you might recall that we did do a comprehensive facilities audit through SiteLogic to inform our long-term facilities maintenance plan. And we had many of our mechanical systems beyond life expectancy. And so we used that as part of our long-term facilities maintenance, recognizing that we couldn't address all of those systems through our LTFM dollars, but trying to make a plan to be able to address all those issues. 2023, we engaged high-use facility users in a process to provide feedback on our facilities. And then with an understanding of the tax impact of these projects, we asked them for some priorities. So they helped us go through, over the course of a number of meetings, helped us go through our needs and really help us try and give us some feedback on priorities. You also know that we've done a couple of different resident surveys to understand the community tax tolerance and support for facility improvement projects as well. We did those in 2024 and again in 2025. Also, in the winter of 2025, the district performed a feasibility study to just get just some information about the community interest and in philanthropy around this, and could we do a public-private partnership on some of these projects. So we've looked into a number of different ways to get feedback to help inform the board's decision. So this proposal, the project scope proposal, really the package that we're putting forward to you honors the input of that facilities task force. You also went through a process of giving us a guiding change parameters in terms of what you wanted to see from this process. And we looked at the resident survey about tax tolerance as well. And so this proposal includes facility improvements that benefit safety and security, academics, performing arts, and athletics. So tonight, this board action would authorize the district to proceed with preparations for a special election in November related to facilities improvement. And the amount that we're putting forward to you tonight is approximately $28 million. Just some details again about the components. Looking at Mahtomedi Middle School safety and security improvements, including that front entrance, the vestibule, making that a secure entrance. Mahtomedi High School safety and security improvements, including hallway circulation remodel, looking at that commons area and in the cafeteria. Mahtomedi High School critical mechanical system improvement, in particular, talking about our HVAC system at the high school, addressing needs there. Safety and security improvements to all of our schools, including Wildwood, O.H. Anderson, and the District Education Center, based on what the needs are. There would be security improvements throughout our district. Also looking at we're calling it the innovation zone right now, but Mahtomedi High School Innovation Zone, that academic collaborative space where our underused locker bay exists. The Chautauqua Fine Arts Center, improving the seating and also disability access to the stage. Mahtomedi High School choir and band classroom improvements, in particular looking at the band, those built-in risers that are not ADA compliant, and also doing some acoustical improvements in there. Looking at athletic field 1, putting in turf and lights. That turf would be a multi-use turf, so it would be different, a little bit different and wider than our turf that we have in our stadium, because it would be able to be used by multiple sports in the way it would be configured there. And then also the high school weight room addition and remodel there as well. So those are the big picture items of this facilities improvement, the project scope. I also want to just highlight that we've also talked extensively about this being kind of the first part of a multi-year plan. We call the next one Phase 2 for any lack of a better term, and really looking at partnerships with local municipalities and private donors. So with those partnerships helping us to plan for that Phase 2, we would be looking at it in the future so we could consider timing of future bonds to minimize tax impact. Also address the educational facility needs at OH Anderson, address the community and high school activity needs at the Mahtomedi High School campus. That was something that came through loud and clear in our facilities task force, just looking at improving those facilities for community and high school activity needs. And also we need to address our aging infrastructure over time. These are community assets, our buildings, our facilities, and so we need to be considering what we can do as we go. I've listed some of the things we've talked about. I've put an asterisk next to them because there has not been, these are the I'd say the big ideas that have come forward as we've talked about what Phase 2 might look like, but we have not. That will be in the future, and it'll really be based a lot on our partnerships and our future look at what those needs are. And so the next steps, if you approve this scope tonight, then we'll submit this proposal to the Minnesota Department of Education for review and comment and start preparations for a special election. And we will also be able to start informing the community of this plan so that we can, again, look for partnerships in this project and just be able to communicate with our community about what the plans are. And so, again, none of this is a surprise to any of you here at the table, given that we've been talking about this for as long as we have, but I just wanted to go through that once again. And so what we're looking for today is an approval of this facilities project scope as presented here.
All right, are there any questions for Barb or comments? I'd like to say thank you. I also want to thank everyone who contributed. I'm looking at our friends in the audience. I really appreciate all the work that's gone into this. I also want to thank all my fellow board members. We've put a lot of time in this, a lot of extra study sessions. I really appreciate everyone's input. I think we had one meeting where there were 2 people absent, and I could feel the difference. And what I came away with was knowing how every single one of you has an important role in our board, and the lens that you bring to the way we look at these big decisions we have to make really, I think, makes us a strong board. I think we have a really great advantage in having each of us as part of this team. And I really want to thank you, Barb, for all this that you've put up with us, for all of our back and forth and our questions. I do plan to support this and hope that it's the beginning of a very exciting future of what's in store for Mahtomedi. Director Doman.
Yeah, I'd just like to make a comment because to your point, Stacey, there's been a lot of back and forth and a lot of work put in, not only by the board, but by the community. The community's been very transparent with what they would like to see and what direction they'd like us to move in from a leadership perspective. So I just want to share that I'm supportive of this because it's part of a bigger vision. I think if this was all we were focused on doing, I probably wouldn't feel the same way. But we've really taken that community feedback, and I can see how we can align that back to our strategic plan, which is really the guiding document that I think all of us are working from, because we're, obviously addressing safety and security, which we all believe is extremely important. I think we're being responsible stewards of the community's investment in the school district by addressing some of the aging mechanical systems that, if we don't address them now, could, ultimately be far more costly down the line. And we're really, meeting the needs of our diverse student population by addressing a handful of different items. It's not just focused in one area, right? So again, just want to share my support for this because of the fact that it's aligning with strategic plan, but it's also part of a bigger, kind of bolder vision for our school district. So the last comment I would make is that I really urge the community, anybody that's out there paying attention tonight, to come to us with creative ideas, help us with ways to work on private partnerships to do some really innovative things for our students, and help us come together with your, individual civic leaders to figure out new and unique ways to partner with our communities that make up our district.
Director
Madam
Donna.
Chair, well said, Brian. And just to underscore, I mean, we've been working, the community, the board, and our partners here have been working on this since 2021, right? So, and I think the list of items that we're going to hopefully address has been distilled from a very long list of needs. And of course, we can't do it all, but I think we've done a really good job of distilling down to what's really needed today, versus what we can look at and maybe wait for a couple of years and build partnerships and tackle those down the road. I mean, even, some folks, we might look at, oh, there's turf for a field in there. Some could argue that that's a safety issue, knowing all the kids who play on those fields when there's glass and everything else that is on that field. Irrigation issues that only make it worse. I mean, and even the weight room fitness center kind of remodel, slightly, a little bit of an expansion, that's woefully inadequate for the facilities and the activities that we have going on at this school. So I think we've done a really good job distilling down that list, taking all that input from the community, making tough decisions, putting together that list, but also that list, if we look at it really hard, I think it benefits a lot of people in the district, but also in the community as well. So I will be supportive of the motion as well.
Director Regan.
I just want to say many things that you said, all have said at this point, I agree with. And the part that has been so difficult in this whole process is that it's not easy because we have so many needs. And so where we started in the conversation with seeing where, taking a snapshot of our facilities across the district, we maybe not uncovers the right word. I think it was already known. I think just really brought it to light how many needs we have in our district. And so getting started somewhere, I think is important. I have been from day one somebody who has felt like this should be something that impacts a lot of students and a lot of people in our community. And so I think that our community is going to be able to see many of these improvements when they come to band concerts and to the Chautauqua for performances and to the soccer games and things like that. And also in the academic space, that our students and our teachers are going to be able to use a space that's underutilized right now in a very different way. I look forward to pushing the envelope of what does Innovation Zone mean? What does that look like? Rethinking what teaching and learning maybe looked like when we went to school to what this could look like in 2025 and beyond. So I've been, as you all know, if you've watched any of the meetings, incredibly passionate about this because the needs are so great, and it's been really difficult for us as a board and the task force and everyone else, and from Wold and everyone who's worked on this, to come to what this might be and also try to minimize the tax impact on the homeowners. And so that has been our internal struggle, or mine speaking anyway, because of the amount of great need across our district. So those of you who are watching from home, I look forward to what your partnerships are. We are going to need some creative thinking to be able to figure out what does this look like, to be able to meet the needs of our kids. Because when you go into athletic and academic spaces in the Twin Cities, you'll see that we have a lot of needs. So we want to provide a world-class education and academic experience and athletic experience for our kids. And so we have to get started. So I am in support of this, and I look forward to the entire comprehensive plan of the phase 1 and phase 2 and those partnerships as well.
Director Peterson.
So after years and years of work and hours on this, I still think it lacks the attention to youth sports and activities, but it does address other areas of wants in our district. And I hope in the future, if an athletic association with sponsors and partnerships comes to us and they have ideas with their own money and improvements made to our facilities that then benefit the entire community, I hope we remember and want some athletic improvements to come next. I will support this first initiative as a foundation for exciting things to come to our school district in all areas, and I hope we get moving and have some vision.
I just want to say thank you to the board here. It was just wonderful to be able to sort of step into this role and see how much thoughtful work had been done for so many years, and just the rich conversations that we're able to have. So I know you go back from 2021. I mean, some of you have been putting a lot of time on this to arrive to this day. And so what I really appreciated seeing in the list was just what a wonderful balance it is. It felt like there was a clear intentionality, as Kelly mentioned, to have this an opportunity to impact the entire district, from the seats at the Chautauqua Theater to the athletics, to some of the core foundational mechanical systems that we just need to literally keep the lights on and the heat on. And so I just want to say what a great work this was, and how fortunate I felt to sort of step into this body of work so late and feel like it had been done with such carefulness and thoughtfulness. So thank you.
Hey, any other comments? Okay. Can I get a motion for approval of the facilities project scope?
So moved.
Moved by Director Donna,
Second.
seconded by Director Whitson. Any other discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries unanimous. Okay, thank you. Now for school board committee reports. AMSD.
That's me.
Anna.
I think the last time we met since a board meeting was April 11th, AMSD. There was a legislative update by Representative Julie Green and Danny Nadeau. My takeaway was the Senate wants to cut school funding and the House wants to increase school funding. That was April 11th. I have no idea where it's at today. And I don't think they do actually either. So, and then the other takeaway from that meeting was a bit sobering. And I think we'll be hearing more about it, but from what I understand, is it TERA, Teachers Retirement?
TERA.
TERA is 72%, is only 72% funded. So I think if any teacher is looking at retirement, they might want to do it sooner than later, right?
But we're not encouraging it.
Oh, no, but it was, yeah, it was sobering to see those numbers. Not necessarily surprising, but I think we'll be hearing much more about it coming forward. So that's it.
Thank you. Well, they're supposed to adjourn May 19th, so we'll see if
Lots of time.
they get anything done by then. Otherwise, there will be special session. Okay, MAFE report, please.
The last MAFE meeting was April 21st, and the meeting started with a mission moment presentation with a MAFE funded student project, and that was one of the student clubs in action. This time was the MAPS team and the NASA Hunch team. If you don't know what MAPS is, it's modeling a protein story, and they came and shared what after they presented their projects in Chicago. I probably am not going to be able to explain what they presented on because it's way over my head. Many of the things that they were presenting on, they were one of a few high school representatives at this event. Most of the people presenting were undergrads or even some graduates in college. So the fact that our high school was presenting there, I thought was pretty incredible. And then the NASA Hunch team came and presented their cosmic dust collector that they designed and that they could be used at the International Space Station for how to store dust without contaminating the air at the International Space Station. They presented this when they went to Houston to a group of NASA engineers, and the students got to talk about that experience and how incredible it was to be able to be next to some of the rockets and talk to some of those NASA engineers. So two amazing experiences for our students that I'm just blown away every time that the students come and present a mission moment at MAFE. And I think these two are pretty close to the top. It was unbelievably awesome, the work that they did, and to be able to present that to a group of adults, and for them to think that Mahtomedi high school students are competing at a high level like that is no surprise. So a couple of other things on MAFE. Obviously, we all know that the gala just happened, and so it was a very successful gala. I spent some time reflecting on the gala, and a couple of upcoming things. Thanks a Latte is May 1st through May 30th, and that's where you can make a $20 donation and give a note of appreciation to a staff member, and they get a Wild Bean gift card to choose a beverage of their choice. So this is not just available at a certain school. This is open for pre-K all the way up to passages. So good time to thank a teacher because Teacher Appreciation Week is May 5th through 9th. So that's Thanks a Latte. Couple last things here, just for kind of future planning or notes. MAFE is searching for an executive director. I think I reported that last time, and they're in the process of interviewing for that position. And they are proposing possibly moving their meeting dates to Tuesdays because of our board meetings on Monday nights. And because of holidays, there's a lot of conflict. So that's it. Their last meeting for the year will be June 16th. And I think that will be a short meeting because they're tying sort of a social end of the year to that. So that's it for the MAFE report.
Yes, Director Peterson.
That pennies for playground, are you on the facilities too? Is that like a happening? Got the money, let's build?
Barb?
They have, okay, they haven't, so MAFE has to release the money to the district, and then we would go forward with it. Yeah, that's the idea.
The fund to need.
The fund to need, that's related to fund to need,
Yeah.
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 I think they will come and they'll come and present the check to the district as part of the fund to need.
Remember, they come with that
The
super
big
giant check.
Right,
Yeah.
so we'll see that at some point.
Okay, MSBA report. Director Peterson.
Okay, it's quite complicated. We do get all the emails. I just pulled out a few highlights that I thought were important to us or to me. That summer unemployment that 2 years ago the government passed, the House wants it fully funded through 26, but the Senate through 27. So there's a pretty big year of a lot of money there floating around to fund teachers for summer unemployment. Not teachers, hourly staff. And then this seemed fitting for what we were talking about last time, was the Senate is asking to repeal linking the formula, educational spending formula, to inflation. That would end forever in the 28-29 school year. So that's what we talked about last time, correct? Weren't you trying to ask if we should be tied to inflation? Well, it might not even be a thing in 3 school years.
Lots to watch for before they adjourn. Okay, Northeast Metro 916, that's mine. I think I've I'll send that update to Leslie and she'll send that out. And I just want to note that there is one more round of tours. I want to thank Director Peterson for going on a tour.
And Drew, we went
And Director Whitson, thank you both for going on that tour. I think it's important for us all to understand how much 916 does as a partner for us, and really value what they're doing. So if you can go on one of the other tours, I'll include that as well in the email that goes out. And I'm planning to be at all 3 of them. So if you want to join me, I'd love to see you there. Any other board reports?
I have one more.
Okay. Director Donna.
I have a community ed report. And it's obvious I had a lot of help with this. So summer registration started March 19th. There was a record day of over 1,000 registrations. On April 11th, Community Ed partnered with over 30 businesses and over 20 volunteers to host that career internship and volunteer fair. The students were able to come learn about specific jobs, investigate summer internships or volunteer opportunities, and meet with volunteers to help preview their resumes. I think there was over 400 students that were impacted with that event. So a terrific event. And this came out of the Community Ed survey that was done in the spring of 2024. Community Ed lunch, as mentioned, May 7th. Kirkwood Barbecue will be there. So that is always helpful for the draw. And then Food Truck Friday was mentioned May 9th. A student band will be performing called Basic and Boring. Are you familiar with that band? And you're going to have to find out and show up.
I probably know.
And then reminder, Community Ed will be at OH Anderson for the summer due to the shutdown for work being done here. So thank you. Thanks, Kate.
Great, thank you. Director Peterson.
It's not a board report, but can I highlight something really neat that OH Anderson participated in last weekend? Max, I cannot believe this did not make your notes. Okay, ready? It was the Twin Cities 5th grade math competition, and OH Anderson cleaned up. They won 11 out of 15 individual medals, and we took first, second, and third in the team event. So we have some pretty smart 5th graders. Yeah.
I do have one report. It's for Brightworks. It was the delegate assembly, and so I went to fill in for that one. And for those of you who don't know, Brightworks is our service co-op. So it provides services to districts that things like cooperative purchasing is a good example. So we get discounted rates. As being members, we get rates on cooperative purchasing because we're members. So they also though run through SparkPath, they also run some student programming. So for example, the Spelling Bee is through their Young Authors Conference, Creativity Festival, Future Cities. There are a number of academic programs that we get to take advantage of because we're members of Brightworks also. So this was their annual meeting where they just highlight a number of their programs, and it's just an opportunity for board members to just learn more about Brightworks and what it is, what kind of services we get through our membership, so that we just get to see all the great things that kids get to do as a result of being a member. So anyway, that's my highlight. But it would be, I can share with you some more of the documents, but mostly it's just an opportunity to learn more about those programs. Mm-hmm.
Well, the PTO has not met since I've been here. I did want to highlight that the PTO did sponsor the bingo event at Wildwood a couple weeks ago. And I went with my 4th grader who was very excited to attend. And they had, I think, 3 times the size of the number of people they expected. Every seat was taken in the main lobby, not lobby, but the cafeteria area. There's kids down the hallways. In fact, parents had to give up all their bingo cards because there wasn't enough for all the kids. So it was a very popular event, and they did a great job running it and had a great time. So well done to the PTO for that.
All right, any other reports? All right, can I get a motion to adjourn? Moved by Director Regan, I'll second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.